Good morning, Shawnee and other fellow Earthlings. Just grabbed my coffee and got up. The topic today, direct sow. It's a whole lot of less work, and you really know you need to know your seed. Yeah, you need to know your seed. And cool weather crops are right now for sure. And the thing is, you have to read a little bit about your seed, what you want to grow. You need to know, right? And there we go. But direct sowing is a lot less work. But you need to know if is the soil still holding water? Is the soil warm enough? Is the soil cool enough? Is the right seed for you? I mean, spinach isn't the first to go onto the ground. Beets are not first to go on the ground. Something like parsley or lettuce that would go on the ground first, and it would followed a week or two later, or 10 days later. A big part of direct sow is soil temp. Yeah. Soil temperature. It can't be too warm, can't be too cold. Has to be just right because it's cool weather crops. Now, if you're sowing a hot weather crop like squash or something, certain squash, you could direct, and it's the best direct sow. I've always had the best production from, but you need to know what you're doing. Best yet journey. Hello. Very good channel. I'll make sure. Okay, and go to channel. Best yet journey's a good channel. Yep. Welcome. And yeah, to you're scuffing with a shallow till if you're direct sowing like about an inch. Hello everyone, how are you listening and trying to get off to work? Okay, so direct sow is you're disturbing the ground in the very early spring for cool weather crops is to start with. So to know your seed is everything. So get to know whether you can direct sow, or someone's had it'll say direct sow or grow inside. Now, growing inside, there's nothing wrong with it. That's a good thing. That's what you want to do. You want to get your plants started. Now, there's different kinds of plants for different part of the season in the beginning, right? There's even another crop that you plant direct sow for fall crops. Like most places in North America, you get two crops. Sow before frost or after frost. Seed packets will say, yes, depending where you are, what zone you're in, that changes from microclimates to the zone they're actually saying on the packet. It can change. And any little bit of disturbed area can sow up a bunch of cool weather crops right now. And hello. For example, we cannot direct sow tomatoes or peppers. Well, if you're past the May 24th weekend where I am, you certainly can. But I don't recommend that for the rest of North America. Yeah. Direct sow of tomatoes. I don't have to direct sow my tomatoes. They grow here by themselves. But that's not to say that's going to be like that wherever you are, right? Now, is there a microclimate? Like tomatoes and peppers require heat. So that's why I said past the May 24th weekend if you're direct sowing anything like that. And it's best for a zone that can handle that, like a zone 8 that I'm in. Now, if you're in where you are, I think you're in a zone 4 maybe, or 3 or 5, somewhere around there in Minnesota. I mean, that's a lot different than where I am. So you have to, that's why it's an art form of direct sow. Good morning, Mandy. And anybody I miss, but thanks for the thumbs up and an impromptu live. I'm direct sowing, so I thought I should talk about it a little bit because it is an art form. You wouldn't, like Shawnee is saying, you wouldn't direct sow tomatoes and peppers right now or later, because it wouldn't give you enough time to grow the actual, because it's a subtropical, those are subtropical foods. I do direct sow, yes, but I direct sow succession plants. Yes, the first are almost always seedlings. Yes, you can get the jump and get ahead like that, absolutely. And I'm just for the ergonomics here for people that want to try direct sowing. It's a hit or miss unless you know what you're doing. So that's why you would put down your early plants. Absolutely. I mean, I would. I have plants growing already that I have like flowers that I'm growing this year. I'm getting a jump on like several types of sunflowers. Um, it's that kind of thing. But I'm direct sowing outside, different lettuce, several different kinds of cool weather crops. I'm direct sowing. All I'm doing is I'm disturbing the soil a little bit, or I'm emptying my pathway soil bank onto the forest floor and just sowing my seed on it because it's such good soil. Tigsy, hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Cheers. Plant the proper depth. Yes, yeah. This is where I'm going to touch topic too. You must disturb with what's called a shallow till. You don't. For myself, I don't like to till conventionally, like using a list, going along, and it's all sticking up everywhere, and it's an art form that you must learn if you want to just direct sow and have less work. That being said and done, if you want an early crop, you would sow inside. Now, for myself, there's plenty of people here, started all kind of plants and they're already giving them to me, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't need to do that, but I do direct sow my tomatoes. And I kept a bunch of tomatoes, and I am going to do a live stream on that, but that's not till May. And here it'll be about May 1st, and that I'm going to be doing it, or the end of April, pretty quick here. I was taught a trick for seed depth. Only go as deep as the seed is big, and some seeds only need light soil on top, like a sprinkle. Yes. So you want some sifted soil, that's like really, really loose. You want really, really loose. You don't want anything compact because that little seedling's got to try to push through. So a shallow till of about an inch with a rake, and then sow your seed on. I've never had a problem with cool weather crops like that. And also I did very well with hot weather crops of direct sow of corn, and I've had really good with direct sow of squash. And don't forget the water. Yeah, the water. Some like carrots. Carrots cannot dry out when you direct sow. If you do, you're not going to get any carrots. So do some research on your seeds and see what the best times, and get a feel for it. And that's basically an art form, is you're going by how you feel, what you see, what you're looking at, when you're looking at it, how you're looking at it, where you're looking at it. It's really, and what seed you're dealing with and how that seed was kept. Direct sow is everything to me because it's a lot less work. I know I won't get crops as early as everyone else, but in the gardening community here, I'm already being given tomatoes, peppers, and they're little peppers and little tomatoes. But I mean, I'm direct sowing everything. And what I did is I kept my tomatoes and dried the actual tomato with the seed in it. And I'm just going to actually cut up that dried tomato and just sprinkle it along where I want a few tomatoes. I don't need a lot of tomatoes. So I will get tomatoes. I won't get them as early as other people around here. And some I will, whatever they were growing. Where are we? I was taught a trick for seed depth. Only go deep as the seed is big, and some seeds only need light soil on top. Yeah, some seeds need very little soil at all. And hello, how are you, ladies? Tigsy says hello. How your growing area, soil, and food always looks great. Keep it up. Thank you kindly, Tigsy. I keep carrot seeds moist with burlap on them until they pop through the soil. I just keep the burlap damp. Smart, very smart. Wildflowers direct. So yes, I just did that on my hugelkultur mound out front. I just did that. And it was indigenous flowers from here, but I've been actually on a site over in the San Juan Islands, an Orca Island, and they do restoration of indigenous plant ecosystems. So I really learned a ton there, and it's kind of one of the things that I like to learn. And some of it I already knew, but you just don't think of because it's a crazy world. But wildflowers are really good. I did that already, and today I'm doing lettuce, beets, but I'm planting the beet directly as a beet because I only eat the greens. I don't eat the beet because it's very sweet. If I eat the beet, I just eat a little bit of it because it's such a high sugar content. But I'm direct sowing in about 2 weeks on my mound. I'll be ahead of the farmers here because I have a mound. I made the hugelkultur mound, and that will warm up faster than other areas on the property. I used a cardboard method for carrot seed. Yes, soak your cardboard and put it along your row. Absolutely. I keep it moist till they. Yes, smart. You wanted when you're direct sowing. You want that. The reason you're doing it, it's less work. Everybody has a lot complicated lives or life, and you want to keep things that can look after itself. David Lynn Prepper Principal. Well, my gosh. I haven't seen you in a very long time. And there you go, David Lynn, Prepper Principal. I've been to David's channel. It's really cool. He's always talking about like number 4. Yes. There's always some good tips there. Make sure it's David Lynn, and it is. Good morning, kind sir. Direct sow, you get a feel for it, okay? And the soil must be prepped ahead of time. And I'm not a till. I'm a no-till kind of guy, but I do shallow till, or I empty my. You as well, David. You have a blessed day as well. Are you leaving? Good to see you. If you don't know David Lynn, Prepper Principal, go over and sign up there and have a look. He does live streams and he's got a lot of videos. Off topic, sorry, just really want to tell you I have been driving the ambulance. Woohoo! Love this thing. Yeah, that's pretty solid, hey? And it's really not off topic because you can hang out in your renovated ambo and think about and dream about direct sow. Just had to throw that in there. I think about it all day long, even when I'm going to sleep and I'm waking up, I'm like, direct sow, got to do the direct sow because I know I can. Succession crop is everything. So now that I'm direct sowing, and I have a bunch of direct sow, I'm even sowing more garlic that I found. I found about 2.5 pounds of garlic, and it was all sprouted. And I went, oh, it's kind of late. And I went, you know what? Not so much. I'm going to throw it onto my hugelkultur mound. Why not? And the hugelkultur mound is going to stay warmer than other areas. I built one 33 feet long, 12 feet wide, and about 5 feet in depth. So that's going to stay warm. Not terribly warm unless you have a lot of green material. If you have too much green material, then you're going to have really hot ground. So what I've done is I've modified for my area the hugelkultur mound, and I've done it where it's in layers, just like anything else. And I've put my citrus up there, so I'm kind of really stoked about it. And I've got ideas about the citrus as well. Off topic. You too, David. I wish I had space to dedicate to garlic one day. A potter, and you don't need a lot. If you feed garlic, they love sulfur. And you can direct sow in a container gardens. There's nothing wrong with it. It's actually very productive. Hey, wild edibles. What? Oh, Virginia fruit grower. Hello. Just watch your yuzu video. I have one of those. Very cool topic and very cool tips that you gave out. I really like Virginia fruit grower. He's always talking about how he's making it in Virginia with growing citrus. And growing citrus is not easy. Yeah. Is there a specific time in growth for sulfur on garlic? Yes. Yes, there certainly is. And you need to fertilize it with sulfur, and it's onions are the same way. And and the thing about sulfur, it should be in the ground, and when you apply it, it should already be in a solute and in the ground when you're planting your onion sets or when you're planting your onion seed direct. So most onions are real big fertilized lovers, man. They love anything allium, loves sulfur. They really love it, and that's a really healthy thing. I Is there a specific time to grow in growth for sulfur on the garlic? It should be there. It should be there. You should already have it in the ground when you go to plant. They need it right away. You know, I did the same thing this weekend, Howie. I had some sprouted garlic bulbs in the refrigerator and dropped it in the ground. Yeah, I looked at it and went, how did I miss this? I mean, I know I've got a vast array of seed here. I've got trays and trays out of the freezer. I probably shouldn't have it out this long, but I'm looking for specific things like flowers and wildflowers, direct sow potatoes. Absolutely. You know what? I plant potatoes all year round here. Yeah, in southern Vancouver Island, I plant potatoes, and I don't know how many types of potatoes I have, but I know I have a lot. I have a lot of potatoes. Guess what? Being a diabetic, potatoes are not on my menu anymore. If it is, it's one half of a potato. If it's a medium sized, it's left overnight in the refrigerator so it develops resistant starch. And other than that, it's a no go. We will be planting potatoes soon. Yes, yes. The problem with potatoes, if you plant them in the wintertime, they freeze and they go to mush. So pretty darn quick where you are, you can plant potatoes, but you can get a second potato crop as well. I would try some potatoes directly from a store, like buy a 10-pound bag of potatoes or a 50-pound that nobody wants, that throws out back of the farm stand or the grocery store because they have all these eyes on it, say around June. Depending, like I'm just saying that for myself, like I'd probably go with July, and then I'd have a fall crop of potatoes. And the big thing about potatoes, where depending where you are, you can't leave them in the ground. Where I am here, I can leave potatoes in the ground. Right? I can do that. So, and there's some potatoes that are here are from time like that when Spanish came up from South America and the Pacific Ocean and traded with like the macaw. The macaw potato, it's a long, delicious, crunchy thing that you wouldn't believe. But there's potatoes here that have been here for hundreds and hundreds of years that were traveled here on the ocean. Way before white man contact, there was contact with Spaniards. Well, even when the Spaniards came, the Russians came here. Got to get a drink of water. Well, you get a drink of water there, Johnny. We will be planting potatoes soon. Tigsy, potatoes will overwinter here in North Georgia. Potatoes will overwinter. Yes, yes, they will. Wherever you don't have, like if you have a constant 2 weeks of below zero, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you're pushing it for leaving your spuds or anything else in the ground. It's something. I need a coffee. I don't need water in there. I woke up this morning in a big chair of direct sow everything, and got my table out. The great thing about direct sow is the rains that come now, they take care of your greens that are growing. You don't have to water, right? Well, you might if there's, becomes a drought immediately. And that happened one time to me. It's like by May, there was no water, no rain. I'm like, what? And then we went throughout summer, 120 days without bloody rain. I'm like, this is crazy. I never seen that before. I've never seen that before. But a couple years ago, that happened to me. I was just like, oh, I had to go out and water. I don't want to go water. So you're planting your succession crops during the cool weather times that the rain is coming with a light disturbance of the soil for a direct sow. A rake goes a long ways with disturbing the soil. Yeah. Tigsy says, I just noticed some sweet potatoes are sprouting that was missed in a bucket. They survived the cold winter. I bet, hey. Yeah, you have to do the slips on it before you put it out here, and you can get nice crops. I remember that year had to always water. Yeah, you would have. It would have been the same where you are because we're on the same island. So you're absolutely correct. And you had to always water. And here it can have an atmospheric downpour to a light rain. Okay. And because we're on this was rainforest at one time. Now it's slowly receding. It's not so much rainforest anymore. So it's really noticed. Mother Nature is fantastic. Yes. So what I've done is I've hooked up on my downspouts off the gutters. I've collected more rainwater because it's all, when you pay your water bill and your sewage bill is related to your water bill, how much water you brought in. They figure is the municipality has figured that that's what you owe for sewage. Really? But, how do you feel about space seeds appropriately in direct sow? Well, that's a good question. And I don't really have a problem with just direct sow and letting it grow. And then I get to have young sprouts here and there or a few young carrots here and there. I don't have a problem with it. And spacing them, you need space for direct sow of spinach. So here's my hand. Okay. So I put my hand down like this. I've scraped up the soil all along here with my rake, or I emptied my pathway soil bank or compost onto there, and I'm making it nice and fluffy. So I put my hand there. You see in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. Okay. So if I'm growing lettuce, I like a bunch of lettuce. So I put my hand there like this. So that's 4, say 5, 6 inches. 6 inches apart, I'll grow lettuce, spinach. So from tip to tip. So, that's how I do it for direct sow. I just go along. I know to go, move over, move over. And that's how I do it. Sometimes I'm too lazy to squat down there and I just sprinkle. I'm not too worried about extra seed. I pay 10 cents a pack at at the dollar store when it's on sale. I'm not a seed finicky type person. Thin seedlings is helpful for carrots. Thin seedlings is helpful for all plants to develop properly. And thinning them is really, really good. Okay, so you're getting airflow in between there. You're not actually putting a lot of area of biomass so that creatures can hide underneath there. You want to lift things up so birds can see in there and get at the different landiopods or mealyworms or whatever. A moth is there. The birds are your best friends for getting rid of insects, especially with direct sow. And they're also your enemy too, because they can come behind you. I've had squirrels take my bulbs to birds eating my seed. And some birds here will just pull out the little sprouts. I've seen them like little juncos come and just pull them all up and look at you. And I'm like, you son of a gun. Get going. I've got a cat. Thin seedlings is helpful for carrots. Yeah, they have to go out. The big thing about carrot growing is the depth. You need really loose soil, and you need a cool area to start them and finish them. And then you've got a nice carrot, But birds will make a mess of your seedlings. I've had like salmon seedlings, and it was my best stuff and everything. This was a couple, 3 years back or maybe longer. And I'm looking out there, and the birds are just pulling off the greenery and eating it. And then I went up to it, and little roly-polies are chewing them off. I'm like, hey, you guys, get out. Dwayne Wodka, welcome. I just was thinking of you when I was smoking the herring again. I did 3 lots of smoked kippers. I've had more success with short, stubby carrots versus long ones. Yes, me too. I as well. Yep. Hi, Dwayne. Good to see you, Dwayne Wodka. Good to see you. I wasn't scheduled to go live not until April 22nd or something like that. Yeah, it's April 22nd, Earth Day. But I've been direct sowing everything. I've been planting like a madman here. I mean, of different crops. So all my bulbs are in now, and I did hundreds and hundreds of bulbs. It's gonna look cool. But and also my trays of chrysanthemums and gypsophilia, that kind of thing, that they're all popping up, and they're like this and that. And I have several types of sunflowers too as well, and just stuff for a wedding. I'm growing roses too. I got a ton of roses here now. I love herring. I know, yeah, most people do. I love herring too. I think they're fantastic, and I'm making all these cool dishes, Dwayne. I'm taking up one herring, put it in a pan, a little olive oil, and then I'm dropping whatever vegetables I want thinly sliced. And then as it just starts cooking and getting a little soft, I drop in my cream with my dill and make a cream sauce, and boom. I'm like, oh man, this is heaven. You got that smoky flavor through the dill sauce, and then you have the dill and a little salt. What else did I put in there? Oh, a shot of this special soy sauce from Japan. We love getting to see your face. Well, as you as well. The surprise lives are lovely. Thank you kindly. I've never had herring. Is it really fishy tasting? No, I don't eat anything that tastes fishy from the ocean or lake or smells fishy. I'm not eating it. Like yesterday, I grabbed a bunch of Digby scallops, and one of my family talking to her yesterday, and she's like, I can't do the scallops here. You can smell them before you even get in the market. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't eat anything that smells fishy. You just don't eat it. And if you do have to eat something that smells fishy, make sure you cook it a long, long time. Okay. That's my advice. And I don't give advice. I just give guidance. I had pickled herring. Yeah, I have lots of pickled herring. They're delicious. They're in vinegar and salt and some pickling spice. And I put in some onions too. I like the onion in there because I like to eat the onion. But then that goes into several different recipes that I do. And they're so healthy for you, herring. They're extremely healthy. Great brain food. Great brain food. That fish looked yummy. Yes, it was. I'm doing yard birds. My friend at the farm has an abundance of yard birds, and I said, "Well," I'll come over and I'll take a few. He said, "Oh yeah, oh yes, oh yes." Geez, you go over there. I haven't gone over there right away, but I've just met him at the farm stand. He's a busy guy, but I've gone over there before. and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of chickens of all different sizes, from little tiny guys to full-grown old yard birds, are following him around as soon as he comes out of the house. I said, "How do you do it, man?" He goes, "Well, you don't make friends with them." And he says, that was the number one rule. I'm like, "Oh, wow." I said, "How do you grow anything here?" He goes, "Well, you have to cordon off everything." And he has chicken wire, not to keep the chickens in, because he makes a good dollar on free range eggs and free range chickens, But I made, oh, hey, where's Wild here? Oh, your seeds are at the farm. He was very appreciative. And Dave says, "Thank you kindly. Thank you so much." He really thought it was pretty cool that you isolated it and grew it, and it'll be true instead of a Franken squash. He really thought that was great. And thank you so much. Yeah. I don't like fishy tasting fish, which sounds kind of ridiculous, but I like cod, halibut, etc. Well, even that should not taste fishy. First thing I do is I smell when I go in the fishmonger, which there really isn't any around anymore. Then you might find some, but wherever you're going, that fish, looking at the eyeball and the touch test, you push your hand into the fish, and if then that indentation stays there, I don't want it. I'm sorry. I mean, I'll take it for my pathway soil bank, but and then there's the smell test, and then there's like when you open up the fish. If I buy fish like salmon, I do buy sometimes, very rare, but I do it. So that being said and done, you pull open the belly and you have a look, and if all the bones, the belly bones, have coming off and separated from any fish, I don't buy it because it's not safe. As simple as that. Pathogen if fish is, Dwayne says, is risky, very risky, especially if you're older. Whew. If the fish smells bad, it likely isn't good. No, boil the crap out of it. I mean, there's a type of food in Norway that they urinate on sharks and leave it, and then they eat it. I mean, those guys must have a gut biome like unbelievable. Not for me. Yardbirds, the group that had Eric Clapton, Jeff, yes, Toy, and Jimmy. Free range chickens are the best, absolutely. And yeah, I'll be picking up a bunch of them pretty quick here. I have the smoker. I don't like to freeze food a whole lot. I like to smoke, or I like to eat it fresh. But that being said and done, I'll store too in case of lean times. So an indent staying indicates old fish. Yes, rigor mortis is set in. It's decaying. You don't want decaying food. Now, that being said and done, I mean, if depending on the situation where you are, I mean, some old dead bones on the ground that the animals have already eaten all the flesh off, it'll have marrow inside, and splitting it and boiling it up and drinking it is okay as long as you know what you're doing. Right? Mother Earth. Hey, Mother Earth Garden Club. I cage my veggies at work much better. You're welcome. Yes, about 200 feet from the garden and the barn and other buildings in the way. Yeah. Cage the veggie. I know you cage your chicken, right? It's like, oh, what? Chicken tractors, quail tractors, pheasant tractors, rabbit tractors, and you're moving it every, say, 10 days, a week, depending on how many critters you got in there. And that's just to be limed and soaked with water and direct sow. That's direct sow. I direct sow that. Yeah, Cage. Peace Journey. Welcome. Well, good morning, fellow Earthling. There's a very low chance of Franken squash. Most should be 95% or higher. Yeah, he was inquiring about that because I gave him some before. I think you gave me some last year. And he's like, he got lost with it all because he has 29 acres. He tries to do his best. He has really good soil. He constantly makes biochar. And then he lets, and the ruminants that are deer. So he doesn't have the scare them off with the dog or shooting the propane gun or anything like that. He allows them to rest there so they know they can go there. This guy's trained the deer, man, and they're friends of his. They follow him around, but they don't mess around with where he's growing his rows of beets and stuff like that. They go where they're allowed, and I found that very interesting. Very interesting. The deer love them. Who would have thought? Do you ever grow Malabar spinach? Sometimes. I find it fun to grow. I like how it is vine-like. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah. Our friend gave us chicken and duck eggs to put in my incubator. He wants the chicks back so I don't get in trouble for having them, but I can still hatch and enjoy the babies for a minute. Yeah, and you can grow some too for meat birds. I know a lot of people get attached to their chickens and then and that's all great if you want a pet. But these animals, these creatures are part of your diet. So I mean, it's just more difficult when you become difficult to detach yourself from loving a beautiful creature. It's really difficult for a lot of people. Eyes look good, Howie. Do you see better now? Yes. I have one more operation over here to remove a cataract. But other than that, I'm okay. And I have to go back for the left eye in 2 months for some other work. But yeah, but I've been doing a lot of other medical things too. I looked at going out of this country, but I don't want to get off topic. The topic is Direxo. It's so easy to get off topic. Wild, that's kind. I love baby animals. Yeah, that was very good of you to incubate their eggs for them. That's very nice. That's very good. Trade is everything. Buy, sell, trade, barter, and in case you're starving, theft. Leave a note or leave $1 if you've got it. Sorry, I didn't steal. I just hungry. Been working on my garden, adding dirt to my planters, then restocking my green stalks with 6 layers. Each layer is about 30 pounds, and I have 9 of them. Smart. Container gardening is really, really productive, and it's a good thing because it's right there. It's raised up. I really like raised beds, but I really like hugelkultur mounds. Those are awesome. I'm going to direct sow wild edibles. Sent some corn last year. I saved some from last year, and she sent some from this year too. Some red, hard red corn. It's so I'm going to direct sow that right across my mound. And I've met a lady on here, sort of Silly Lily. So I'm going to put her Silly Lily row up on top, right along here for all the lilies, and it's in there. It's dispersed in amongst everything. And then I'm going to put the rows of corn, and I'm direct sowing like a Three Sisters, like, of that nature. Where Mikey said half are our friends and half are ours for helping him. He will have them at his farm. Smart. My muscles hurt. Like, yeah, when you start using them, you haven't used them for a while. Take it easy. Yep. Magnesium glycinate's your best friend. Nice, Mother Earth. I'm covered in snow. Wow, still? Wow, things are I have apple blossoms, pear blossoms, plum blossoms. Everything's in full swing here. All the flowers, some of my Casablanca lilies are a foot tall. And those are ones I had in containers though. I bet they hurt. Hope you feel better soon. It's nice getting stuff done. Hi, Mother Earth. I name all the wild animals by food names, so chickens may be called Nugget. Smart, very smart. Nice, Mother Earth, still covered in snow. Yeah, smart there, Peace Journey. Thank you, Howie. Direct sowed peppers have about 50 seedlings now. Yeah, where you are, it's nice and warm, and you have that ability to direct sow peppers or tomatoes or squash of any kind and corn, because you have the amount of time to allow it to grow. Generally, those things are 7,500 days give or take, depending where you are and how Mother Nature treats you. So as you get further north, peace journeys down in southern United States, and there many other places too in the United States, they have a long growing season. So direct sow to me is a lot less work, and I can classify that as ergonomic, right? It's timing. You have to know when, and that soil needs to be not frozen, but you can put your hand in and you take it out, and your hand's still the same temperature as the other hand. It's like, oh, for like, yeah. But definitely spring here. Oh yeah. I don't direct sow my corn. I start mine early in a yogurt cup so I can bring them in if it freezes. Smart. Yeah. So yeah, again, it's not all areas are the same. Hey, Guardian Prepping. Hello, GP. Good to see you. There you go, GP. Always a pleasure. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family's doing good. Hope you're planting lots, doing lots. That'd be awesome. Make sure that is Guardian Prepping. If you don't know him, check him out. He started a food forest in the city, kind of a bit of a rough part of town. And he's going to make his neighborhood much more friendly. When you're feeding people, they tend to be more friendly towards you. Being said and done, my very best to you, GP, and good to see you. Peace journey, right on that woodwork. Whoa! What that mother? A good soak for achy muscles and sea salt, mint, rosemary, and juniper berries works well. Absolutely. You want that to relax. Charlie horses are not fun. Hi, Guardian. Hello, Howie. Big smile. We are trying to decide on things while we clean up. Might have another pot garden this year. Oh, nice. I direct sow beans. Yep. So do I. Peas. Yep. Bok choy. Yep. Lettuce, beets, but have about 100 starts growing under lights in my basement. Smart. I'm a bit lazy this year. I'm direct sowing most everything, unless it's the flowers for this wedding that I'm going to. I'm under pressure for a lot of flowers, man. And that's expensive. It's thousands of dollars for these flowers, like the bridesmaids flowers, to like ones you put on your shoulder and your lapel. I forget all the names, but I watched a ton of videos, and then I found out I don't have to do any of that. All I have to do is provide them, and there's an RV coming with coolers and buckets and stuff like that, and it's all being put in there and then trucked across to the West Coast. I don't have to do anything. I'm like, yes, baby. I just got to grow them. I'm okay with that. That I can do. And everything's up too. Everything's just pounding out, especially on that hugelkultur mound. I'm way ahead. I looked at stuff I planted at the same time in the back here, same seed out front. This is 3 times the height from that mound. Is warm. Okay. Excuse me. Oh yes, lettuce too. Yes, beets, yummy. Yes, I have bean and pea seedlings just about ready to go outside. I will direct sow seeds around those. Absolutely. Well done. Hey, Guardian Prepping says, I made my latest food forest update public for you, Howie. Anyone welcomes to check it out, but only after Howie's stream ends. I have your garden prepping channel onto my playlist so that people can go and see what's going on. And it's another continent. It's in Africa, in Southern Africa. So I really like that. I haven't been there a whole lot lately. I've been very busy with comorbidities of my body. So that takes precedence. And I'm direct sowing. I've been direct sowing for a while now. I have lots of stuff up, and it's just like I have radishes that are already done and going to seed. For real. I have potatoes that are this tall, like already growing. And I have turnips, spinach, you name it. I have like whole green patches. They're just all ready to juice. And my juicing guy was here yesterday. He's a nutritionist. He's like, oh, yeah. let's get the juicer out here. And I'm like, yeah, it's about time, isn't it? Because it's starting to have the flowers here and there on it. And go ahead and just run it through. You're not going to eat it, but it's nice greenery. I made my latest. Yes. Wild edibles. When we can dig, put some perennials in pots, berry and tree cuttings to start in vase. We decide to move. Right. Yes. I have the same. I always keep stuff that is able to be moved or given away to another food force that's starting. But I have to. There's a place down the road that's being bulldozed, so I'm going to take the young trees I planted there. And the people that bought the place, they don't care. They're just bulldozing everything. And I went, well, that's your right, but I'll be taking a bunch of stuff from there. But I've got a crew to go and do it for me. I'm going to put it onto the mound. I made it live on this channel, main channel for you. Thank you. Get all the compost in the garden and clean up outside. Yeah, absolutely. Direct sowing is great, but if you move, you need to plant in pots. Yes. Hey, Urban Gardening Chronicles. Hello. Welcome. Good to see you. Great channel. Always can learn something there, and a great person too, and great live streams on Saturday mornings mostly. Yeah, great live streams. I sit and listen. I like listening. I used to love your juicing live streams. Yes. I did a lot of juicing live streams, and I even put some crazy music I made 40 years ago onto it. Just you're messing around with a drum kit and a mic and whatever. I used to love your juicing live streams. Yeah. I don't do juicing as much. I don't like to separate my fiber. So, but hey, it's a massive, when you drink green juice and you've made your own with ginger and apple and stuff, you actually can see contours better. Your dilation is better. Yeah. You become more better vision with colors and hues and stuff. It's really something to get into, but make sure when you do juicing that you eat your fiber. Fiber is super important, and that's what happens is it comes out of it. I used to love you. Yeah. Keep doing all the things, Howie. Hugs, sending healing vibes. Thank you kindly. Are you heading out? Hi, Urban. Yes, spread it. Yes. Hi, Urban. Good morning from Peace. Yes. Hey, Urban. Everybody's saying hi to Urban. Very cool channel. I've known Urban a couple of years now. Well, known of her. I haven't actually met her, but you never know what tomorrow brings. How you doing? Great channel. Urban's in Canada, and she's does like an urban growing of food. Well, urban, right? And she has great success in growing her own food, and her live streams are always very informative, and it can go from what's happening at work to your bad neighbor to where you're going to buy your food and where someone's going to rip you off. And thank God that I thought of Urban, because this is something that I might want to touch on. It's off the topic of I'm coming to my end of my hour. I might go a little longer, but I recently went out to a local, very high-end restaurant that has a lot of high-end foods. So I bought 3 items. Okay. And when I looked at it, the lady handed me just the bill, no itemized bill. Red flag. So I went back. I said, I need an itemized bill. I didn't say I can see it's way overpriced, but she's like, oh, okay. So she hands me the itemized bill. Okay. So I'm looking at it. It says 4 items. I said, I didn't buy 4 items. I bought 3 items. And she looked really nervous, extremely nervous. But the red flag here is she did not hand me an itemized bill. So they can put anything they want on there and you wouldn't know. So to get back in the lineup, and then there's a lineup, and get my coffee's getting cold over here, right? So I said, well, that's fine. I said, over the past year, I've got back over $1,000 from different restaurants, farm markets, to retailers, to big box stores. I said, over $1,000, and I'm not even halfway through the year yet. She's like, well, yeah, okay, here's your money. And I'm like, how many people don't check their bill? Item count, number one. Number two, the red flag is they don't give you a receipt itemizing what you've bought. That's not on there, you don't buy it. And I've caught almost every single person that is out there. One lady I caught, she had a tag on the inside of her finger and she was running it through. And I was with a very good friend, and my friend's like, we didn't buy all these items. This is a different place. She's like, oh, yeah, you did. And I said, no, we did not. We have an item count. We have a dollar figure, and you're almost double. She's like, oh. And she could see us looking at the tag. She had the SKU underneath her hand. Okay, so keep an eye on the hand. Keep an eye on the itemized bill wherever you shop. And it doesn't matter. The big box stores really don't like me because I've had hundreds of dollars taken off my bill. I'm going out, I'm buying a backsplash for the kitchen, and I'm buying this and that. And they put in $270 just last year onto my bill. I'm like, no. And they did it on purpose, as far as I'm concerned. It's not a mistake because I'm constantly finding it, constantly. Especially at a busy place, because a lot of people just want whatever and get the hell out, right? So always do an item count and a price count because you're staying safe, and just see. And the thing is, in Canada, they have to give you something for free when they do that, as long as it's under $1,000. There's some rules too. I don't know exactly all the rules, but I don't know about America and the United States. But here, if they make a mistake, and they try to go, oh, well, that was the till person punching it in. I'm like, well, no, here it is here for this price. Can I take my photo now? Oh, and I've seen them change the number, especially at Walmart. I've seen them send somebody and you go there and the number's been changed. I'm like, well, how does that work? Right. So there's a lot of taking what they shouldn't be taken from you. And I'm finding it more and more prevalent. I'm finding at places that are supposed to be family friendly and all this, and it's like, this isn't family friendly when you're stealing from me. And it is stealing. One lady and the guy was in on it too. The grocery manager and the till lady were all in on it. And I bought a piece of ginger. Now, ginger is $10 a pound for organic ginger. But I didn't buy a pound, and it was $18. And I'm like, I said, the ginger's wrong price. She's like, no, it's not. I'm like, well, I'm afraid it is because I only bought a quarter pound. And with Canada Weights and Measures, they have to provide a scale there that you can weigh it versus what they're just telling you at the till. Okay, this gets really interesting. And she's like, no, it's $10 a pound. I said, but I haven't bought a pound and the bill's $18. She's looking. And then the manager and her, you see them, they're communicating. As soon as I turn, he's communicating. As soon as I turn, she's communicating and catching the very end of it. I'm like, I'll tell you what, I'm not paying it. And I'll buy the quarter pound. I said, it's about $3 maybe at the most. And she took it all back. I said, okay, $3. I thought, it's so easy for you to just change it. But how many people are they doing this to? But I'm finding it everywhere I go. Even at Costco, I've caught them putting an extra item on I'm not saying they did it on purpose, but I am saying that it did happen, which is very rare. I've seen it at Walmart, lots. I've seen it at Rona, lots. Wrong price. You think you're paying $7 for each packet of backsplash? Oh, I'm sorry, it's $38.95. You got to stay on top. Have a great day, everyone. See you, Tigsy. I'm out of here pretty quick. I got off topic of the direct sow. I need to refresh mulch around apple, pear, and cherry trees. Yeah. Urban, good morning. I can't afford to go to a regular restaurant, never mind fancy ones. Laugh out loud. Everything is so expensive. Yeah, it was a treat, and I had a family friend over. So, but my family friend is she's she has a small newspaper, so it should be an interesting newspaper coming up soon. And yeah. She's yeah, okay, I don't want to say too much. I can't afford, yeah. Yep, and they come and test all the scales and can be fined if the scales are not calibrated properly. Yes, at Canada Weights and Measures. Yes, absolutely. And you know what? The only way to stop a bad person is to say, look, what you're doing is wrong. If you're silent, well, hey, you're silent. Have a great day, everyone. See you, Tigsy. Yep. And bye to you, hugs. Have a great weekend, everyone. See you, Peace Journey. Mandy, I think cooking at home is less expensive and healthier and definitely being better tasting. Absolutely, Mother Earth. Your food prep is for your different foods for up to several days. That's how I look at it. I always thinking, am I using these veggies every day? Like today, I'm making another dish for my smoked herring, obviously, but I'm also making. I have this free range beef from Up Island, from Merville. It's called Island Pastures. It's delicious, man. And I either get that or I get this Australian free range beef, which is delicious. But the coinage is where it's at. I pay for a steak, a strip loin steak, like a really bigger than my hand, $7, $6. I go to all the other stores, it's like $32.50, $16.95. And I'm like, if this person can afford to sell it for $7, $6, $7, $8, why are these other big stores so expensive? And you know bloody well you're not getting as good a beef. So Shawnee Grows is checking things out. Mandy, I think cooking at home. Yep, agreed, mothers. I agree. Eat, cook at home when you can. Absolutely. Wow, that's cheap. Yeah, very cheap. Yeah. It's when you direct sow and you're doing succession crops, you have to have that incorporated in your meals, unless you're preserving it somehow. Okay. When you're preserving some foods, you're losing nutrient value. Okay. So the fresher you eat the food, the better nutrient uptake of the human being. You're going to get it in your system faster, better, more of it. What's on your fork is what's on your fork. Simple as that. That's, when it comes to, you can eat this tablet, you can eat that tablet and that vitamin, and this nutrient. What's on the end of that fork will be better than anything like that. That's my opinion. That's not to say that you shouldn't do that, because I do that. Peace Journey. Wow, that's cheap. Yeah. That's actually at the Red Barn, where you might have one where you are. They have some very good Australian beef for a very good price, of excellent quality, free range Australian free range beef. That's where I get my Australian free range beef. It's not always that cheap. You might have to wait till the next week, but then I don't freeze meat, so I have to go with Island Pastures after that. They're really good. It's tasty. It's beautiful. I mix ground beef, turkey, and pork and use my spices and make my own sausage patties. No sugar. Smart. You know what's in it. When you buy sausages at the store, you don't know what's in that. A bug could fall off the ceiling. Who knows? I really want to direct sow cows. Me too. Yes, eat it up. Yes. We don't have a Red Barn, unfortunately, but I will bring a cooler next time I'm in Victoria. Yeah, the Red Barn here, not all the Red Barns have it either, but most do. And right now they do have it. So I'm getting ready this morning, and I'm going to go and pick up a few of the steaks. I mean, it's just they're strip loins, and they're beautiful. And when you buy steaks, you run your finger across them, it goes bump, 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 bump. That's not for you. When you run your finger across and it feels like smooth like silk, that's for you. When you buy your hamburger from, like, I buy the Island Pastures hamburger because it's so freaking good. When you break it open, it's red all the way through. When you break open other hamburger from other places, it's brown inside and red on the out. Why is that? Exactly. So, when you find the right butcher and the right farmer, stick with them. We don't have a red barn, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah. But you have a country grocer there, I'm sure of it. They have Island Pastures, and it's not cheap, but it does go on sale, and their hamburgers reasonably priced. Isn't it just different colors because of oxidation? Well, no, it's not. It's if I can explain to you everything in great detail, but meat is not supposed to be brown or gray. Okay. I don't care if it's oxidation or an old steaks that they didn't sell, or the meat's old and they dipped it in red ink dye #5. I don't care. I'm telling you that meat is supposed to be red like beef all the way through. Okay. Simple as that. If it's not, then if it's your oxidation or whatever, it doesn't taste right. It's old oxid, whatever oxidation, like you said, or whatever. But it should not be there. It should be red through and through. It's like when you go buy salmon at certain stores. Oh, smoked salmon. That's dipped in dye. Do you want that? If you're getting smoked salmon, it should taste like smoked salmon and look like smoked salmon. If you're buying beef, it should look like beef and taste like beef. If there's any alterations, what the hell is this? I'm just saying, for nutrient value, what's on the end of your fork, really be careful of. When you direct sow your crops in succession crops, every 2 weeks, you're extending into the summer. And when summer comes along, then your yard birds are big enough now. A lot of people like their yard birds to run around. Some people have a chicken coop. Like Fifi on here, she has a channel, and she shows from beginning to end of the yard bird showing up, her cultivating them, and then like, I don't know, raising them, I guess. And then she shows how to preserve them and vacuum pack them and smoke them and whatever, and shit. And it's from beginning to end. In Fifi, I don't remember her total channel, but she's very, very, everything she does, she does to the max, and her chicken coop's amazingly clean. We don't have a red barn. Okay, isn't it just different colors because of oxidation? Well, I'm not eating it. Been looking into Dexter cows, grass-fed beef. You can milk them and feed more cows, or save the milk up for calves. Yep, make cheese, butter, yogurt. I don't want to sell milk. No. I like when you explain. Laugh out loud. Love learning. Yeah. Aren't the Dexter cows a smaller breed? I think you're right. The best smoked salmon I've ever had is when I worked in a local pub, and we would have indigenous people come in and sell it fresh and delicious. I know, right? That's pretty much how I learned to smoke fish, was from the Nutchul Nation. I can't say their name because they've passed away, and they don't like that you say their name when they're gone. It's just so I have respect for them, but I grew up with some of them. Yeah, they're missed. Some still around, though. I bump into the odd one, guys you went to school with, right? And gals. And I know I can sit on the ground to milk them. Yeah, they're pretty short. Dexter cows. The best smoked salmon I've ever had is when I worked in a local pub. You're right, Mandy. You're right. Yes, one of the smallest. I like the small cows better feed conversion. Yeah, hey, Pat Cow, I'm pretty sure you can get away with one where you are. Featuring cute, yeah. Fifi is called Fifi's Urban Homestead. Yeah, she's very, very astute with her food preparation, foraging, fishing, gathering, from snails to fish in the river to getting 50 meat chickens, raising them and processing them. She knows what she's eating. She's having a delicious food. And I don't think I've ever missed any of her videos. And she puts out a lot of videos. Always the coolest. Fifi's I would think Dexter's might be easier to handle since they are smaller. They would be. No, that's a Highland cows. They are short too. Okay. Food forest. David Carlisle. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you. I don't know much about cows on purpose. And you're in Texas. Make it by Mandy. From David Carlisle says hello. Wild edibles, yes, easier to handle. We have experience with small and big. The small ones are nicer, more like a horse attitude. Yeah, with larger animals, you have to be very careful with temperament. If the animal's been abused and it's high strung or something, you can't have a school class of grade 4 show up and go, oh, pet the cow, and you're gonna get trampled, right? If we get land instead of keeping the house, I definitely would buy land. I mean, dig a cave, rent free, mortgage free, right? I might go fishing. My gardening muscles need a break. Hey, fishing! I love going fishing. It's one of my favorite ways to get food, and it's so nutritious. And here there was great controversy for many years about sewage going in raw into the ocean, especially where I lived. I couldn't go and have the clams, mussels, and stuff. It really sucked. I had to travel. But guess what? It's been like 3 years, 4 years now. And I don't see them signs up says shellfish poisoning or anything. They're all gone. I'm like, so I'm going to contact my buddy at DFO and see what's going on because absolutely. I might go fishing. Good for you. Tiny cob buildings like a cave. Absolutely. Stove's pretty easy. Cob stove heats cob oven, which heats cob bench or bed in a cob house. Very, very, very smart. You need a good stock of wood there if you're out there in, Northern Ontario or Canada. You need, stock up 10, 15 cords is not unheard of. Timing with cob. I'm a real big advocate of cob, hey, because it can solve the world's housing issues in a big hurry. Easy to build too, with a little bit of knowledge. Mother Earth Garden Club. Hello from David Carlisle. Cob ovens are so cool. I want one. Yeah, they're not that difficult to make. You go on YouTube, watch it, sign up for a course somewhere, and give them their $25 to watch one being built, and that's your best bet unless you're adventurous and innovative. Bing, bada, boom, ba. It is on my list to have one here, but I have one down the road. But it's a wood-fired oven compared to there. Oh yeah, baby. And I can't have bread, but I make an exception with a real tiny, little skinny slice because the carbs last a long time inside you. Cob ovens are so cool. I want one. Yeah, you should have one right where you are on the edge of the property, a small one. It's not illegal. The Holstein's nice and big. Accidents can be worse with big animals. I rather small. Dreaming. Yeah. Oh, little lag there. Oh, what are we talking about? Are we talking about spy agencies or something? It's crazy, hey? Some of the things. I'm going to get another coffee, and then I'm smoking some salmon. Oh, excuse me. I've cut my winter rosemary. I have 5 trays like this. This is my winter rosemary because I like to eat a lot of chicken and I like to use a lot of rosemary. So I have 5 of these trays. This is my winter rosemary, and I really like it. And it once I prune it back like this, and then at the end of summer, I'll cut again the summer rosemary. There is a difference, but it's the same plant, but it has different oils in it. And it smells nice. Great for the brain. Did it lag? Did it lag? 6 seconds of lag, hey? Oh my. Shouldn't happen, but it could be just that, paranoia will destroy you, and it's just an actual real lag. But my buddy there on a prepping channel, every time he goes off topic and talks about how he feels about something, there's a lag. And he's judged it. And I'm like, what's going on here? It's AI, maybe, but who cares? It's direct sow season. Yeah, rosemary is so good for you. It's very healthy for you. Yeah, rosemary. I like the winter one over the summer one, but I like the summer one too. But I like that heavy rosemary taste and smell and on my chicken. I'll actually take a bunch, put it on the chicken, and put the chicken in the refrigerator. Next day, take it out, let it warm up to room temperature, and on the Barbie. I love most herbs. Nice. I grow herbs, rosemary, thyme, basil, dill in my hydroponic gardens. Wow. I don't do hydroponic, but if you do, that's good. You have food. There's nothing wrong with that. Food is food when you're hungry. Yep. There we go. There's my buddy Ray. Yep. They're selling his place pretty quick. Crying shame. Crying shame. Uh-oh, little lag there. Yep. I love most. Yep. I grow herbs, rosemary. Yep. Okay, I'm out. Bye, Peace Journey. I need to make a sandwich for my client. We're going to town, and I prefer to feed the man good food from home. Have a great weekend, everyone. Blessed with the live chat. Thank you, Howie. Thank you so much for being here. Bye, Peace Journey. You have an awesome, safe, beautiful, fun day. Cheers to Peace Journey. A great Earth warrior. What was I yapping her about? Oh yeah, direct sow. Looks like it's pretty much daylight here, and have to have a smoked salmon time. I see they have my hat back at that specialty shop. I'll have to go by and buy them all. They're not cheap. They're $35 a pop, and they got a rack of them there. Probably like 10 or so. So, oh, you're welcome, Peace Journey. You have a good day. Much love, mad respect. The hummingbirds are pretty fun. Bye, Mother Earth. Mother Earth's leaving too. I have to go as well. See you, Mother Earth. Take care. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Always have a good day. Yeah. Cheers. Oh my. Such a nice community we have. I miss everybody, but I have these things to deal with and a life that I wish, and it doesn't revolve around YouTube, even though I sneak in a few videos here and there. Now a live stream. I try to. I'm reading a book on Charles Darwin's youth and his travels on the Beagle. Took him forever to get out, and I mean, he was a big seed collector, a field naturalist. He collected a lot of seed. Hey, and yeah. Cheers. I know what you're doing. Drinking coffee. Originally, I read about Charles Darwin was a book made just after his memoir, which had like it was a really old book. I donated it to the Vancouver Island Regional Library though, and I'm glad I did. And then the head librarian said we'll never be able to put this book out in public, but people can come and view it because it was an old book. It was a couple of 100 years old or something like that. And they sent me a big letter thanking me for this awesome donation. And actually, I found it at a church that was going into a dumpster. And I rescued it. And then the librarian is like, the rare book librarian is like, this is gold. I'm like, well, I'm glad you like it. And you should go and be looked after, right? Getting one ready before I do chores. Mikey's doing the dishes. What a sweetie. Woohoo. I have friends that show up and clean my house. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes like this one lady, she's in Japan. She comes over, she's cleaning my house, doing my gardening. And I said, oh, you don't have to do that. And she's like, but I have to stay busy. Yeah. Well, I need to run. Run, Mandy, run. Hope to see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Much love. You as well, Mandy. Thank you kindly for being here. Thanks for all the thumbs up, everyone. Yep. Coffee and a smoked salmon with pals from my YouTube village of gardening. Doesn't get better than that. I love everybody that comes here. They're great. Yep. But direct sow now. Get out there and scrape that. I might go tree shopping today. Wow. Bare root. Are you getting bare root stock? Because I think that's about what you get there. Got to look after them. Now, ones that are growing in a potter already, you've got a little better chance of if you missed a watering day or something, right? But now it's the time. We have been cleaning up 20 years worth of stuff. Wow, been crazy. Thinking about all the repairs that need to be done. Building sounds better than fixing this mess that's left. Well, you make a choice. You do with what you have. Simple as that. Cheers if you have a coffee, tea, or water. I'll be doing, I do ascorbic acid. I put a certain amount in water and I drink that right away. Yep, that's my first thing. I like it. It tastes a little bit like citrus. It's not cheap. It's 100% pure as vitamin C. There's no crap in it. I might go tree shopping. Oh, that's an investment in the future. The older the tree, the faster you're going to get fruit, if that's what you're going for, or nuts, fruit or nuts, right? Yeah. Wow. Thursday morning today. Oh, yeah, I've got to go cut the greens for the guys. I better do that because I've got a ton of greens. I've got a lot of greens this year. I donated last week, I don't know how much kale, 30 pounds, 40 pounds of kale or more. I don't know. It's just this week it'll probably be a lot more because I eat turnip tops, radish, greens, carrots are up now. So I'm gonna go and cut a couple bucks. I don't have to wash for slugs or wash it or anything, or I don't have to process it, and they just take it. And the old fogies, where it goes, they just you got anything from the food forest? They ask for my food, hey, because it tastes good. It's not like the stuff from the store. It tastes like you're eating cardboard. Now that the contraband in the United States is over with, and that's not contraband here in Canada, is over. I could sell to someone who can make the repairs and buy land, build something small. Excuse me. You have an extra lot, correct? Yeah. Yeah. There's some rules with building anything. There's inspectors that you have to grease, or they grease you. Uh, so the less you have, the better off you are. Human manure compost is doable. It's doable, especially if you got a few bucks. A human manure compost goes a long ways. A little bit of solar, a little bit of land can accommodate. If you're going to sell your place, you got another lot there. I think yes, that's the garden side lot. Oh, it's not divided; it's all in one. Yeah, or I'm just surmising. I'm to surmise, but yeah, it's a topic. But there's two things that it's difficult for the inspector. Actually, three, and I'll touch a little bit on it. And not divided, but could be. Yeah, there's 50 G's right there when you divide. Yeah. So anyway, the first thing is your sewage. Okay. The water from the well is most likely okay. It could be whatever the water is you have to fix or not fix. But the sewage, what are you doing with it? Well, human manure composter. And so, okay. So gray water is probably okay to put onto the land, depending on where you are. And then there's the electricity. What you say? Electricity? Yeah, electricity, man. You got to be inspected. So a couple of solar panels. Even that, these people that have these corporations and shares in it go, oh, you have to sell us your electricity that you generate, and then we resell it back to you. And that's something. So that's something to think about. You can do more in the country than in a tiny lot. Yes, yes, you can do a hell of a lot more. A heck of a lot more, I should say, in the country. What someone doesn't see, they sleep better at night. These people that they're the gatekeeper, and there's many of them, many, many, many. There's gatekeepers that you would say hello to every day and not know they're part of the gatekeeper community. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They just don't want you to not buy food from the store or not pay rent or not pay more. That I was a little surprised a few years ago by what I had learned. I could build and rent it all out, but that's a lot of stress and possibly big loss. Well, whatever your choices are, you'll figure it out. But Cobb House is the cheapest house you'll ever build, and it lasts thousands of years, and all the materials comes from where you're standing, right? The bigger the Cobb House, the more you got to pay. Okay, what's a Cobb House worth? Well, a Cobb House here, 200 by 300 square feet, between 5 and 50,000, depending on how you want to go. That's pretty cheap compared to a $500,000, right? So Cobb oven heats Cobb bench, Cobb bed in your Cobb house. You're cutting down a lot of the gatekeepers, but there's still a couple, three gatekeepers to go that you have to deal with. And that is the sewage, electricity, and god awful taxes. Right? Yep. And it's easy to say you could build and rent it out, and I mean that's a pretty good dream. But in reality here, it takes a lot to plan something like that. Even I can't do that. I'm just not interested in it. If I ever move from here, this place I put on the market, Well, I'm moving to a cave. I've decided a cave's where it's at with my cob oven and a few goats and a few chickens and close to the ocean. I've lived many times off the land. It's natural to me, but not everybody has the opportunity to live by the ocean and the wild woolly west of British Columbia that I am. Yep. So, you make do with what you have and get a good night's sleep every night. That really, really helps if you have a good night's sleep because you can wake up like I did today and start talking about direct sow. So that being said and done, direct sow is where it's at. Scrape the ground a little bit with your rake and sow your cool weather crops. It's where it's at. Thank you all for that thumbs up. It's very kind of you all. I wish you all the best. I should see you again on April 22nd on Earth Day. I know 420 is the salmon day, but I don't. I'm not going to be going live. I don't think so, but I'm definitely planning something outside if it's sunny for Earth Day. And I'm moving a ton of plants soon and trees. I got a crew together, and thank God, friendly crew, not ones that are potty mouth, and because there's kids all around, and there's this guy over here is going F this and F that. I'm like, Jesus, man, shut up. Even I find myself with a potty mouth, and I'm bang my thumb or something, right? But anyway, the crew is coming, and we're going to be moving some trees, plants, direct sowing, bunch of stuff for Earth Day. How to make your life a lot easier? Direct sow. It's ergonomic. It's easier. You don't have to tend it as much. You don't have to water it as much if you do the planning right. See you all around too, Shawnee grows. Yes, exactly. Direct sow in the ground or in pots. Yes, get direct sow. And like Shawnee's doing, looking at some trees. Always look at a tree as a pollinator, as food, as stored food like nuts or acorn trees are really good, especially where you are in the northern part of the North American continent. Oh, losing it. Need more coffee. Hug Shawnee. I've been watching, but I'm behind on my comments and sharing hugs. Yeah, great channel, Shawnee Grows. She does a podcast. I've only gone to a couple, three of them. I'm not a podcast fan, but I will make it to listen a little bit. But I like live streams and I like video content. And Shawnee Gross has some really, really good shorts and really good videos and awesome live streams. Always teaching over and over and over. And that's the legacy all Earth Warriors can leave behind. Much love, mad respect. And remember, direct sow is your best friend. See you, Wild.